Once you identify who those target consumers are, that's what's going to inform your product portfolio that we're building towards that. So I think when we've sharpened our tool on the target consumer and then the brand built and targeted for that consumer, that's when we win. That's when we see high trial rates on our products and high repeat purchase rates because they build that brand affinity.
Hey guys, this is Sid Patel, CEO of Beverage Trade Network and Cannabis Drinks Expo. We are live from Chicago here at the third annual Cannabis Drinks Expo. I have here Kate Lynch with me from Curaleaf, one of the leading companies of cannabis in US with many different verticals. What I really want to do talk with Kate is the consumer behavior and how she's observing the consumer and marketing back, and maybe we can touch base a little bit more on the cannabis brands, right? Some lessons you may have learned to market your beverage brands, which other entrepreneurs can find. So let's just go there, Kate. What's the current state of, what are some 3 or 4 things that you think has worked for you in marketing as a general cannabis brand? And then maybe you can deep dive into cannabis beverage.
Sure. Yeah. So, I think one of the most important things that we've learned is focus and prioritization. There is a very large range, wide range, I should say, of target consumers. Everyone from, a medical to a wellness consumer all the way to a recreational minded consumer and everything in between. And once you identify who those target consumers are, that's what's going to inform your product portfolio that we're building towards that. So I think when we've sharpened our tool on the target consumer and then the brand built and targeted for that consumer, that's when we win. That's when we see high trial rates on our products and high repeat purchase rates because they build that brand affinity.
Got it. Can you define target consumer? When you're defining your consumer, what are the questions you're asking? Like, age group, type of the user. So go a little in detail so people can make notes.
Pretty, traditional demographics. So age, we operate, I should back up, we operate in 19 different states.
Got it.
So the consumer base varies state by state based on the regulatory program. So in some markets that we operate, they are strictly medical. So you are a patient, you have to go to a doctor, you have to get a prescription. And so that is a much different consumer experience than in a state like Arizona where, you don't have to go through that process. So we are oftentimes directly asking consumers what they're interested in, what is their motivations, what is their need and their mood states, what products, what categories are they interested in. Price point is another big, big defining, I would say, attribute. So I think a lot of direct consumer work, consumer studies, surveys. We have, hundreds and hundreds of consumers that shop us every single day. We have their contact information. We get feedback from them frequently, and then we use that feedback to inform future development.
Understood. In the last 12 months, experimenting in your cannabis beverage marketing, any 2 or 3 case studies that were like a big wins for you that you can share?
I think the most, the most effective programs we put together start with our bud tenders, our store associates. We have thousands of store associates that interact with our customers every single day. So educating and getting them excited about our brands and our products is always the most effective way to sell it to the consumer. We also hired a bunch of industry experts from the CPG space, the beverage space. And so they have a lot of experience building really powerful beverage brands. And you're going to see some of that coming out, some of that work coming out this year, next year with some new product launches.
So what about in-store merchandising? Like once you get an order, what kind of marketing that you've seen has improved your depletions?
So because we own and operate 152 stores, 70% of our shelf space is made up of our own products. So we can merchandise however we choose. In some states, we actually can't put product out on the floor. It all has to be behind the counter. But in other states, we merchandise very traditional retail. We generally merchandise by category and by brand within those categories.
Okay.
We also build merchandising programs for the wholesale accounts that we sell into. So we sell into over 2,000 stores that are not our own branded stores, and we build merchandising programs specific for them.
What's the KPI? What are your key performance indicators, Kate, just for your own job? What metrics do you pay very close attention to?
So there's a handful of them. New customer acquisition, customer growth is a huge focus on ours. So how many new people are walking into our doors? And then how many people are coming back? So customer retention, I would say, are our top 4 KPIs. And then there's a lot of ones that sort of ladder up there. But I would say, vertical penetration of our products and repeat purchase rate, as well as how many new consumers we're bringing in the space and how many of those consumers are coming back to us again.
Any 3 or 4 growth hacks, or maybe what do you do to, that is working? What kind of cycle are you following that you're bringing the customer back?
So we have a pretty robust CRM program. So we have email and text messages that go out too frequently, as a matter of fact, but we send them out daily. And then we have a pretty strong loyalty program. It's one of the richest in the industry.
Okay.
And so we try to get 40 to 60% of the people that walk into our door subscribe into our program.
Nice.
And then, they build points. We have an app that they can sort of shop our products and access their loyalty program. And so the richness of our loyalty program, and then just getting really sharp on our CRM strategy, making sure if you're not an edibles consumer, but you're a vape consumer, we're talking about vape, not about edibles. So sharpening those two, I think, have been the most effective. We have over 2 million members in our loyalty program today,
Nice.
And we're hoping that continues to grow.
Nice. I think one more question came to my mind because of dispensary. What are the 3 or 4 things that a normal consumer looks for in making a decision? Hey, I'm going to go to that dispensary.
I would say the top 3: location, so convenience, price, and product selection.
How important are the bud tenders?
Very.
Number 4?
Yes. I mean, obviously, if they have a good experience, they're going to come back again, but they wouldn't necessarily know the level of service until they get in there. But I would say in terms of choosing product, once they're in the store, the bud tenders are highly critical.